Hello there, welcome to the first video on my new channel. I am a young programmer. I'm 15. I'm trying to get into the world of coding, hopefully grow an audience, find people who enjoy watching me struggle to do something I enjoy doing. So this is a project I started working on that's hopefully going to turn into a chess bot, I suppose, like a chess AI. We ignore the name. At the time I started, I was slightly irritated. But I'm going to run you through what I've got so far, what my plans are for the future, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, so the first thing we have in our main file is these imports. Some of them aren't used, but they'll come back to being used. So that's, yep. The first thing we do is we initialize Pygame, set the screen size, the caption, and we load in the images from this file here, which we'll come back to. Then it draws all the squares, and then it finds the squares that have pieces and draws the pieces and at their position. Then it just lists the types of pieces we can have. That's not really used at the minute. So this doesn't do anything right now other than kind of set the turn to white, which doesn't really matter as we don't really have a turn system right now, but it also just reads what we have and draws the board into this SVG file here so that I can check things are working properly. It's kind of a debugging thing. Then we get into the main game loop. We set running to true and selected to false. While running, if selected is true, then it will get the mouse position at all times. So if we're selected, it will get the mouse position and draw the entire board and then the piece we're trying to move at our mouse position. That happens there. Then obviously just the ability to quit. Then when we lift up our mouse, we redraw all the pieces again. Then we get the square that the mouse is at and set it. Okay, and then yep, so we get the square, we get the letter of the square, and then join that, like concatenate it with the number, so the rank and the file. I believe it's that way around. Okay, then we check if we can put, like, if we can draw a piece there. If we can and selected is true, then we redraw the screen. Then we add our newly drawn piece into the squares of pieces, and then we redraw all the pieces. Then it's just a print thing to debug and just say these are the squares that have pieces, and then we set selected to false. Otherwise, if selected is false, then we select the piece, remove it from the squares with pieces, and then set selected to true. Again, this is just debugging stuff. Then we just print selected because I was having issues with making sure the selected was true. I don't know what was happening. And finally, we just update the display to show whatever's happened. Moving into our positions.py, it does a lot. It allows us to make moves, it allows us to draw the board to the SVG file, it allows us to export it to the PGN file, read the PGN file, detect when the game is over, and it also allows us to define every piece and put it into the squares with pieces thing that I was talking about before. and also this little function here just checks if the square is in this list here along the side. This is just what pieces are each square, and then this is the square. Then if we move into the last file, we import these, set it up, blah blah blah. Then we actually have a little sprite class, so that every piece we draw has a position, a type, an image, and a color. I tend to swap over the color and the image when I'm actually creating a sprite, but this is just the way I drew them here, which is fine. Then if you remember that load image function from earlier, what this does is, in a really weird order, and I realized I could do it more efficiently later on, as you see here, I basically load the image for every piece and resize it to be the correct size, then load it into this massive images array and just return the images. So that if we come back here, we get the images all here for us to use. I use it somewhere. I don't know where. I forgot. What? Psst, that was silly. Okay, I don't know what it's used in. But anyway, so that's what I have so far. My plans for the future are to, so if I run this, it loads the black pieces, and they are movable, but as you can see, we can make some very interesting moves with them that you're not meant to be able to make. And also the white pieces don't exist, so I need to load in the white pieces and do move detection, set up a turn thing. But once I have a playable game of chess, I can start work on the search and the evaluation, which I did start, but it's weird and doesn't like working. So I will come back to it when I have it all thought out. But thank you very much for watching. Hopefully through this project and future projects I can grow this community and find people who love doing what I love doing and connect, collaborate, etc, etc. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.